Hey folks, it's Tom at FrugalPrepper. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about why does my sugar go up when I fast? Like, what's up with that? Like, I was diabetic, and now I'm fasting. I'm not eating anything, and my sugar still goes up. It goes up into the 200s. Why? I see this question a lot. So, just for those of you who are new to my channel, I was diabetic, diagnosed nearly 20 years ago with an A1C in the 17s and a meter that just said high because it couldn't read over 550. Over the years, I've lost weight and done Atkins and some keto and, watched carbohydrates and lost weight and got it better, got it worse. But it really got bad when I started following the diabetic nutritionist advice. And I ended up on 300 units of insulin a day. My highest weight was 458 pounds. And I had a hard time keeping my sugars in the 300s on 300 units of insulin a day. I had an A1C in the 14s was my last A1C. Since then, I've done keto, and my keto got dirty, and it kind of stalled, and then I went carnivore, mostly carnivore, 98% carnivore. And I've lost 198 pounds now. I feel great, feel amazing. I no longer need a knee replacement. I no longer need surgery on my torn rotator cuff. I am no longer going blind. I no longer have diabetic leg ulcers. I feel amazing. But 4 months ago, 5 months ago, I decided to try to do some extended fasting, 2 to 3 days. And my sugars started coming back up again. I'm no longer on any prescription medication. I'm no longer on insulin. I'm no longer on my 5 blood pressure medications. And so I was like, why is my sugar coming up when I fast? That's because I spent nearly the last 20 years being diabetic, injecting massive amounts of insulin into my body that it wasn't even responding to anymore. And my cells are extremely insulin resistant still. Now, if I eat a couple pieces of birthday cake, my blood sugar is probably still going to go up. So I don't eat that stuff, right? But why would it do it when I fast? Well, it's because your liver does something called gluconeogenesis. Your liver makes sugar out of fat and protein. And when you're going into ketosis, right? When you're first going into ketosis, that first day or two, your liver will make more sugar, right? Because it thinks your cells need it. It's an easy way to fuel them, right? It's getting rid of some of that fat that's stored right around the liver. As you go into a really extended fast, you'll run more on ketones, but it takes a few days. So your sugars will come up. Because your cells are still like looking at the insulin that your pancreas produced to put that sugar into them that the liver produced, and it's saying, no, we don't do that. We're not taking any more. There's no more room for any sugar here. Sorry. They're insulin resistant. And so your sugars will come up. So when I tried a 2-day fast or I tried a 3-day fast, but on the second day, I was having glucose readings 150 to 180, in that range. I'm like, why is it coming up? That's still way better than the 400s I used to have, but, I'm like, why is it coming up? Well, that's why. So the solution to that is don't fast. You are not ready for that yet. If you're coming from massive diabetes for years and years, and you still have a very sick metabolism that's very insulin resistant, you are not ready for fasting yet. You need to eat 2-3 times a day, right? And you need to eat the right foods, right? You can't go and have pizza. You can't go and have a bunch of stuff. But you need to eat the right foods. And whether that's a good, clean keto or a carnivore or a lion diet, it doesn't matter. Low carbohydrate, ketogenic, whole foods, no refined keto breads or keto brownies or keto cupcakes, right? Just good either low carb veggies and meat or meat, and lots of butter, lots of saturated fat. You want about 50% fat, and you'll see that those sugars will start to drop and come down. But if you're trying to do one meal a day right off the bat and you're noticing high sugars, you don't want to do one meal a day. You don't want to do one meal every other day or fast for 3 days, because that's going to make your sugars come up. And I've seen people, they get in the 200s to the point where they're becoming polydipsic, right? Which is where you drink a lot and you pee a lot because your kidneys are trying to filter the extra sugar out of your blood because it's not responding to the insulin. So that's an important thing to realize. I would say another thing that you want to do is you want to go get your insulin levels checked, your C-peptides or whatever, and just tell your doctor you need to verify that your pancreas is still making insulin to make sure your pancreas hasn't completely decided nope, and now you're a type 1 diabetic, right? My pancreas still makes plenty of insulin. So I'm not a type 1. And am I a type 2 right now? Well, if I start eating birthday cake and donuts again, I will be in a short matter of time. But if you take my current A1C, they will say, no, you're not diabetic. But that's because I'm eating the right food still. And I think I could probably cheat a little bit or something and it wouldn't go sky high, but it's not a risk that I'm really willing to take. Although I did have a grilled cheese sandwich with gravy on white bread made with margarine at the amusement park a couple weeks ago, and my sugar did not get high after I ate that. It was 115 an hour after and 110 2 hours after. So that shows that my body is able to regulate that more now. But if I have a grilled cheese sandwich 3 times a day for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be diabetic again. So that's just an important thing to realize is fasting when you're first starting out and you're coming from a long term of severe diabetes where you're very insulin resistant is going to be a problem. Now, if you're just on a metformin or 2, or they're saying you're pre-diabetic, you probably can fast. But if you're on tons of insulin every day and you have been for years, fasting might be a problem at first. And you have to give it time. You didn't become this sick overnight. You're not going to get better overnight. For me, this has been a 5-year journey to lose 198 pounds. Some people can lose 198 pounds in 6 months. That's good for them. Everybody's metabolism is in a different state of health, and it takes longer to heal sometimes, and it also takes longer to get used to what you're supposed to eat, and you'll fall off the wagon and you'll get back on it. And it's all okay. Just keep making that progress. And don't worry about what the scale says. Just your body has to heal first, and then you return to a normal weight. You're not returning to a normal weight in order to heal your body. It works the other direction. I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, the Frugal Prepper.